It is 6:30 in the morning, Friday, May 31st, 1889. Elias Unger, president of the most exclusive private club in America, steps out of his farmhouse into pouring rain and stops. The lake below him has risen 9 inches in the last hour. It is now inches from the top of the dam. And on the other side of that dam, 14 miles down a narrow mountain valley, 30,000 people are starting an ordinary morning. By 7 minutes past 4 that afternoon, more than 2,000 of them will be dead. Stay for the letter at the end of this story, a letter written 9 years before this morning that predicted everything you are about to see and was answered with a single, dismissive sentence. This is the story of the rich men's lake that killed 2,209 people. 1879. A Pittsburgh tunnel contractor named Benjamin Ruff has an idea. Buy a ruined, abandoned canal dam in the Allegheny Mountains, patch it up, refill the lake behind it, and sell membership in a private mountain paradise to the richest men in America. And they come. The South Fork Fishing and Hunting Club grows to 61 members, and the roster reads like a museum of American money. Andrew Carnegie, Henry Clay Frick, Andrew Mellon, future Attorney General Philander Knox, a 47-room clubhouse, 16 lakeside cottages, 2 steam yachts on a private lake in the sky. But Ruff is a contractor, not an engineer. He rebuilds the dam with no qualified engineering supervision. He patches the old break with cheap fill. He lowers the crest by 3 feet to fit a carriage road so members can ride 2 abreast. The original discharge pipes, the only way to lower the lake in an emergency, had been sold for scrap. He never replaces them. Remember that. No way to let the water out. It comes back. The dam holds. For 10 summers, the water waits. Here is the part that turns a tragedy into a crime story. 1880. Down in Johnstown, the most powerful man in the valley, Daniel Morrell, head of the Cambria Iron Company, hears what Ruff is doing to the old dam and sends his own engineer, John Fulton, up the mountain to inspect it. Fulton's report, dated November 26, 1880, finds 2 fatal flaws: destructive leaks cutting through the new embankment, and no discharge pipe. His written conclusion: "It appears to me to be only a question of time." Ruff's written reply to the Cambria Iron Company, December 2, 1880, ends with one sentence, quote, "You and your people are in no danger from our enterprise," end quote. Morrell tries once more. He writes that the dam is, quote, "a perpetual menace to the lives and property of those residing in the upper valley of the Conemaugh," end quote. And he offers to help pay for the repairs himself. The club never answers. Morrell even buys a membership just to keep watching the dam. He dies in 1885. Ruff dies in 1887. The letters get filed away. The lake stays full. 9 years of warnings, and the only thing standing between them and 30,000 people is a wall of patched earth with no valve. May 30th, 1889. A storm parks itself over the mountains and drops 6 to 7 inches of rain in one night. By morning, Lake Conemaugh is rising 9 to 10 inches every hour. Unger's men attack the dam with shovels. They try to raise the crest with plowed earth. They try to dig a second spillway. They try to clear the main spillway, but it is jammed by the club's own fish screens, installed so the members' stocked bass could never escape. The one thing they cannot do is open a valve and let the water down, because there is no valve. The pipes were sold for scrap 9 years ago. At 11 in the morning, an engineer named John Park sends riders to the telegraph office. At least 3 warnings go down the valley. The dam is going. Johnstown has heard this before. False alarms year after year. The messages are read and set aside. At 1:30 in the afternoon, Unger orders his exhausted men off the dam. There is nothing left to try. They stand on the hillsides in the rain, and they watch. At 10 minutes past 3, the center of the South Fork Dam dissolves. 16 million tons of water leave the lake in about 45 minutes. For a short time, the flow pouring through the breach equals the average flow of the Mississippi River. The wave is 30 to 40 feet high and moving up to 40 miles an hour, and it does not travel like water. It travels like a rolling mountain of everything it has already eaten. Trees, houses, barns, boxcars, locomotives, barbed wire from the mills, and people. It erases the villages of the valley one by one. 57 minutes after the dam fails, at exactly 7 minutes past 4, the wave hits Johnstown. 4 square miles of the city center are scoured off the map. 1,600 homes are destroyed. And then comes the detail that no one who survived it could ever unsee. The wreckage piles up against a stone railroad bridge. 30 acres of debris, 70 feet high, packed with trapped survivors. And it catches fire. In the middle of a flood, people who had lived through the wave burned. The fire smoldered for 3 days. At least 80 people died inside it. The final count? 2,209 dead. 99 entire families, gone. 396 children. 777 victims so unrecognizable they were buried without names. 1 person in 5 in Johnstown did not live to Saturday. Now, the bill. Property damage, $17 million in 1889 money. More than $500 million today. Donations pour in from 18 countries. $3.7 million, the largest relief effort America had ever seen. Clara Barton arrives 5 days after the wave with the Young American Red Cross, its first major peacetime disaster, and stays for 5 months. And the club? The 61 wealthiest defendants imaginable? Newspapers call it manslaughter. A New York World headline reads, quote, "The club is guilty." And then, nothing. Every lawsuit against the club fails. Proving personal negligence against individual members is legally impossible, and these are the best connected men in America. The official engineering inquiry, run by colleagues of the very men under scrutiny, concludes the dam would have failed anyway. It takes until 2016, 127 years later, for a modern hydraulic analysis to put a number on the truth. The club's changes had cut the dam's safe capacity in half. Total paid out by the South Fork Fishing and Hunting Club and its members in damages to the survivors of the deadliest dam failure in American history, $0. Andrew Carnegie built Johnstown a new library. Today it houses the Flood Museum. Not one club member ever said the words, "It was our fault." Remember Ruff's letter? "You and your people are in no danger from our enterprise." 9 words, 2,209 graves. The most expensive lessons are the ones somebody else already paid for. Subscribe, and I'll see you at the next collapse.